I hate maths. Even if I study, I'm going to fail. There's no point even trying. I can't dance. I have two left foot. I have a small brain. I'm not smart at all. Do these things sound familiar to you from your children? If you have been hearing this from your children, they could be suffering from a phenomenon called learned helplessness. I'm Commander Bimal Raj, founder of Insightful Parents, and I'm going to be talking in detail about learned helplessness, which is very important for you to understand and as parents, and so that you can help your children. Now, to understand learned helplessness, let me give you a very common example that a lot of you may be able to relate to. It's about catching elephants. Now, when you catch elephant, they're caught very, very young. Okay, the baby elephants are tied with a chain that they are not able to break. The chain is very strong. The baby elephant does try, and they do try a lot to break the chain. And at one point, they stop trying. They realize that it is impossible to break the chain. So there is no point even trying. That is learned helplessness, because even when it grows to become a big tusker, and if they want, they can break the chain very easily, and they do when they go mad. But otherwise, in normal cases, they don't even try to break the chain because of the subconscious belief that it is of no use even trying to break the chain. Now, this is learned helplessness, and you find that a lot among adolescents as well, when it comes to academic performance and when there are a lot of other pressures in their lives. Okay. Now, this is being noticed a lot more in these days than in the previous decades. In fact, American Psychological Association calls it the landmark theory of the century. Now, kids with this kind of condition, they no longer believe that they can positively affect the direction of their lives. So they give up trying and they engage in tasks which are very, very easy or very routine, which does not require any kind of major effort or trying. And they are not interested in learning new ways of trying and new ways of doing things to accomplish a task that they have not been able to do prior to it. Okay. Let me take a very common example. Let's say a child performs poorly in math test, and then he resolves to do well in the test and he studies hard for the next test. But in the next test also he performs poorly. And then over time, when this happens, he begins to believe that nothing he does can change his performance with respect to maths test. And he says that he comes to the belief that he cannot do well in maths and he's very, very bad in maths. Okay. He won't even he won't even try to attempt maths problem that he would have been able to solve 2 years earlier. See, it is not laziness. It may look that they don't care, but it is in reality, it is just that they have lost hope. Though this is a major issue, as parents, you should know that since this is learned helplessness, it can be unlearned as well. But you as parents should rescue a child who is creeping towards hopelessness by addressing these contributing factors. Okay. Now, there doesn't seem to be a clear answer about what causes these learned helplessness, but it is likely brought about by a number of factors. The first one is unpredictability. When there is constant chaos and inconsistency at home, kids start believing that they can't influence or affect a good outcome out of even the most basic situation. This is often seen in homes which are dysfunctional, things like addictions, extramarital affairs, painful marriages, secrets, constant quarrels, and parental absence can all contribute to an environment that is too unpredictable for a child to feel safe and secure in his ability to change things for the better. Overparenting. Now, overparenting usually ends up raising under-functioning children. Always remember that. These are parents who do way too much for their kids. For example, if you have an older child, if you still wake them up in the morning, pack their bags, get their breakfast ready, make sure that all their books, you put their books and everything in the bags, at the same time making sure that, giving them constant reminders and making sure that they reach the bus stop on time. So this is where you are overparenting. All right. Now, contrary to what you may be thinking that you are helping them, you are actually damaging their confidence that they can manage their lives on their own. Third, achievement stress. Learned helplessness can result from pressure to enter into a world for which the child is not yet ready. The child feels stressed when he or she is ill prepared for something, and the stress creates fear, which prevents them from getting out in front of any kind of challenge. Please remember that every child is different, and some kids do respond well to pressure. Some kids do not respond well to pressure and stress. Now, just because your child's classmate is a topper doesn't mean that your child also must be, though you may feel that he has the potential. Now, when a child knows that he's not ready for something and everybody around them, especially their parents, tells them that they should be ready, he feels defective. Another one is changing goals. Now, another big stress for both adults and children is that they never feel done. Now, consider a teenager who have given a clear but limited set of instructions, which are your expectations, like turn in assignments, study for tests, help around the house, and your child, your teen, uses this as kind of a rough outline about what is expected out of him. Now, what is the reward the teen is looking for? Feels to feel that she has accomplished their parents' expectation, and to her self-worth that she's able to accomplish these tasks. Now, what if she feels that she can never fulfill your expectation as a parent? Many times what happens is that a lot of parents put in more and more expectations on a child, and it contributes to the child feeling that they're not good enough, and whatever they try, how much ever they try, they can never please their parents. Things like watch your pet, lose your weight, learn classical singing, get vegetables, clean your room, and all these things add on one after the other. The child feels completely helpless. And many times this is aggravated by the fact that parents constantly correct the child and remind her that she is failing, or she's falling short of expectations of accomplishing the task according to the parents' expectation. Okay, you may not say it in as many words, but you express through their body language, through head nods and all those kind of stuff, and it goes and sets very deeply in the child. Kids who struggle with learned helplessness, they start off with messy rooms. They will start losing friends. They will stop doing assignments. They will start failing in tests, and they will end up with lost passion for life itself. Now, interestingly, the parents do not understand, how the achievement stress happens is that parents don't understand that when the child they love so much, they see great potential according to them, and the parents are saying that they're repeatedly messing up. Now, to cut off this learned helplessness at home, one of the first things that you need to consider is your attitude as parents, your expectation from their kids. Relationship before achieving to your standards, living up to your standards. Have compassion for the kids. They are not lazy or bad. Remember that a child with learned helplessness may be a great kid, but he's never going to be an achiever in any measure until his belief changes inside of him. So be fine with it, because if you push him, or if you push your child, it's only going to damage them further. So just enjoy your child. Just be happy. Being around your child, being being let the child being with you. Just enjoy the presence and just enjoy the relationship. Now, if you are somebody who is over functioning or functioning as a parent, doing too many things for them, start cutting off things so that and expect them to do things on their own, and stop doing everything for them. Now, work with the child, and it can be immensely healing for the child. Make it fun and interesting. Don't make it a chore. You may have, if you're doing her homework with her, it is quite possible that you may get frustration, but hold back your frustrations and resist the urge to push her too much. And initially, if she decides to quit, you also quit, and don't make a big issue out of it. If you can find a tutor who can make her fall in love with the subject, you will find good tutors. Take help, okay, because you always have a vested interest in your child doing well. So hand over that responsibility to somebody else. Make sure that you don't nag your child. Parent intentionally and quietly. Now, uh, let go of a lot of stuff that normally nags you, but at the same time hold the child accountable to reasonable stuff, little things. You can have certain boundaries for them, and expect them to live within the boundaries, expect them to live up to those expectations, but let those expectations not be too high. Let your love never be tied to any expectation that you have for your child, any kind of achievement or even behavior. Okay, when you communicate with them, communicate without any kind of name calling, insults, labeling. When it is true, tell the child that she is doing absolutely fine. Tell her to relax, and encourage them by telling them that she doesn't have to live up to your expectation by beating all the other kids and becoming first in the class. So whatever they are pursuing, okay. Now try not try, you'll be, in fact, you'll be doing a great help to them if you can disconnect your children from technology to a lot of extent. Don't let them take smartphones to the bed, to the washroom, to the dinner table, even when they're going for a walk or walking the dog. Basically, where the goal is to focus on something else other than the device, let them not take the device. Most importantly, model these behaviors by doing the same things yourself. Now, always remember that the main problem is that the kids inwardly believes that he or she is not capable enough, that not there's no point trying. So don't try to convince them otherwise with logic. We do that by big lectures and even giving them proof of what they've done earlier. What you can do is that you can let them explore something completely different. Even children with learned helplessness, they do extremely well in other areas like, let's say cycling, kayaking, mountain climbing. They do really well because they don't consider that as an achievement or as an expectation from their parents. Okay, so enjoy and celebrate any kind of small achievement that they have. Ask them for what they've learned from it. Focus on the learning instead of whether they come first or not. When you set up rules for your home, do not make rules and thrust it on them. Get their buy-in, get their agreement on the rules. Find out and focus on areas and experiences where your child feels confident, and find one area and then add one more and add one more, like that. You do it slowly and steadily over a period of time. Another very important thing, in casual conversation, share about your life and your failures and how difficult it was for you and how you got out of it, not as a lecture but just as based on the situation. Share about your life, and teach them to fail gracefully, so that any amount of failures that they encounter do not uh, make them define themselves as a failure. Failures in activities are very different, but branding themselves as a failure is very, very different. Okay. Now, slowly and steadily, your child's confidence and abilities will find its own way back through other areas, maybe through the main areas that you want them to, if you're willing to work with the child. Okay, don't expect them to do everything. Work with the child, and the kids will turn out fine. But watch out for these indications from your children. Uh, if you feel that they're having this phenomenon called learned helplessness, see how you can change your gear, reassess your priorities for them, reassess your expectations for them, and take a fresh stand and keep going.